The first thing you need to know is that the night smelled like gun oil and cheap tequila. And the second thing is that I never should have answered the phone. My name's Jax Harlan. I used to be the guy who could clear a bar fight with a look and a half smile. 6'3", 230, knuckles like busted walnuts. These days, I mostly clear spreadsheets for a logistics outfit out of Jersey. But muscle memory's a bitch. It doesn't retire just because you do. So when the burner in my glove box started buzzing at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday that already felt like Friday the 13th, I knew the past had come collecting. "Harlan," the voice rasped, half static, half bourbon. "You still owe me a favor." I didn't ask how he got the number. I didn't ask why he sounded like he was calling from the bottom of a well. I just said, "Talk." "Ever hear of a town called Mercy Ridge, Nevada?" I had. Ghost town. Silver dried up in '29. Population 0 since the last bordello madam cashed out in '78. Place was a postcard for American ruin. Sun-bleached wanted posters flapping against the boarded-up Wells Fargo. Tumbleweeds doing a two-step down Main. Perfect spot to bury a body or a secret. "Meet me there," he said. "Sunrise. Bring the colt you swore you melted down." Click. I stared at the dead phone like it might bite. The Colt was still in the safe behind the water heater, oiled and loaded, because some habits die harder than others. I told myself I was just going for a drive. Told myself a lot of things. Mercy Ridge at dawn looked like God had hit the mute button on the world. Sky the color of a fresh bruise, air so dry it cracked your lips just thinking about it. I rolled in with the windows down, dust devils chasing my '67 Mustang like they had a personal grudge. The town was exactly as advertised. 1 street, 2 saloons, 0 witnesses. He was waiting on the porch of the old assay office, leaning against the post that he'd given up on standing straight decades ago. Same height as me, but thinner now, like the desert had wrung him out. Face all sharp angles and regret, eyes the flat gray of a winter ocean. Luke Calder, my old spotter, the man who once talked me off a rooftop in Fallujah with nothing but a joke about his ex-wife's meatloaf. He lifted a hand in greeting, then let it drop like the effort cost him. "You're late." "Traffic," I said, killing the engine. The silence that followed was thick enough to chew. Luke pushed off the post, boots crunching on broken glass. "You bring it?" And I patted the small of my back. The Colt's weight was familiar, almost comforting. "You gonna tell me why we're playing cowboys at the OK Corral?" He glanced over my shoulder, scanning the empty street like snipers might be hiding behind a sagebrush. "Because the thing I need you to shoot isn't human." I laughed, short, sharp, the kind you're not sure if it's a joke yet. "Come again?" Luke reached into his duster and pulled out a Polaroid. The photo showed a man in a cheap suit, face half in shadow, standing in front of what looked like the Mercy Ridge Bank. Except the bank's vault door was open, and inside was wrong. Blackness that didn't reflect light, like someone had cut a hole in reality and pasted it on film. Name's Victor Sloan, used to run black bag jobs for Langley. 3 days ago, he walked into that vault with a briefcase and didn't walk out. Locals say the bank's been breathing ever since. I turned the photo over. On the back, someone had scrawled in red ink, "It's hungry." "Locals," I repeated. "Thought this place was empty." Empty is a relative term. There's a trailer park 5 miles west, folks who couldn't afford Vegas and wouldn't leave the dream. They talk about lights in the mine shafts, shadows that walk upright. And every night at 3:33 a.m., the bank sighs like a dying man. I handed the photo back. "You want me to exercise a haunted Wells Fargo? I want you to burn it down with Sloan still inside. Whatever you opened, it's spreading. Last night a coyote wandered too close. Found it this morning, skin inside out, still twitching." He wasn't lying. I could smell it on the wind now, faint but unmistakable. Copper and ozone, like a storm that never quite arrives. I looked at the bank. The windows were boarded, but the front door hung open just enough to show a slice of darkness that didn't match the sunrise behind me. Why me? Because you're the only bastard crazy enough to follow me into hell, and the only one who ever walked out. Also, you still owe me for Cabo. Sun's up. Let's go banking.
We moved like we used to. Luke on point, me covering arcs, muscle memory overriding the rust. The street was littered with relics, a rusted Stetson, a child's shoe filled with sand, a faded campaign poster for a senator who'd been dead since Nixon. Every step echoed too loud, like the town was listening. The bank loomed at the end of Main, 3 stories of Victorian brick gone soft with decay. The sign above the door read Mercy Ridge Savings and Trust in flaking gold leaf. Someone had spray-painted beneath it, closed forever. Luke paused at the threshold. Sloane's briefcase had a logo. Black circle, red eye in the center. Ringing bells? I did. Black budget project out of Groom Lake, shut down in '09 after 3 techs vanished during a test. Rumor was they'd cracked something older than language. Project Erebus, I muttered. Bingo. Luke drew a sawed-off from under his coat, checked the load, rock salt and iron filings, old-school warding. Sloane was the last loose end. Guess he decided to tie himself off. Inside the lobby was a time capsule, teller's cages coated in dust, a calendar frozen on October 1929. The air tasted like pennies and attic mold. Our flashlights carved tunnels through the gloom, revealing overturned chairs, a child's rag doll with button eyes staring at the ceiling. Luke pointed to a staircase descending behind the vault. Basement. That's where the vault connects to the old mine shafts. I nodded, thumbing the Colt's hammer. 6 rounds, .45 ACP, silver-jacketed. Overkill for most things with a pulse. We'd see about the rest. The stairs creaked like they were personally offended. Halfway down, the temperature plummeted 20 degrees. My breath fogged. Luke's flashlight flickered, then steadied. Cold spots. Means we're close. The basement was a cavern of shadows, support beams sagging like old bones. In the center sat the vault, massive, round door yawning open like a scream. Inside was the blackness from the photo, but alive now, pulsing faintly. It wasn't empty. It was full of something that watched. Luke raised the shotgun. Sloane! A shape detached from the dark. Victor Sloane, or what was left of him, suit shredded, skin mottled with liquid night. His eyes were gone, replaced by that same red circle. When he smiled, his teeth were too many. "Calder," he croaked, voice layered like a bad dub. "You brought the janitor." I leveled the Colt. "Step away from the hole, Vic." He tilted his head, curious. "You think bullets matter to what's coming? It's been waiting since the first star burned out. We just gave it a door." Luke edged sideways, trying to flank. "Where's the briefcase?" "Inside," he gestured vaguely at the vault, "with the rest of me." The darkness rippled. Something long and jointed unfolded from the void. Too many elbows, no face. It moved like smoke given malice. I fired. The Colt roared, muzzle flash strobing the basement like a nightmare disco. The thing recoiled, but the bullet hole knit shut before the echo died. Silver doesn't work on concepts. Try faith. Luke pumped the shotgun and let loose a blast of salt and iron. The air sizzled. The thing shrieked like a sound of tearing sheet metal and shrank back into the vault. "Run!" Luke yelled, but Sloane was already moving, faster than human, fingers lengthening into claws. I tackled him low, drove him into the dirt. We rolled, his breath hot and sour against my face. Up close, I could see the red eye wasn't a symbol. It was a pupil, dilating, looking through him. "Jax, it's beautiful. Let it in." I jammed the Colt under his chin and pulled the trigger. The back of his head painted the ceiling. The body went limp, but the darkness kept coming, pouring out of the vault like oil uphill. Luke grabbed my collar. "Stairs, now!" We bolted. Behind us, the basement filled with a sound like 1,000 whispers speaking at once, none of them in English. The stairs buckled under our weight, wood splintering. I felt cold fingers brush the back of my neck, close, and then we were in the lobby, sunlight spearing through the boards like salvation. Luke slammed the basement door, wedged a chair under the knob. "That buys us 30 seconds. 30 seconds for what?" He was already moving, pulling a road flare from his coat. "Plan B. Burn the support beams, collapse the basement, trap it." I scanned the lobby. Gas cans, ancient, but the slosh said half full. Someone had been planning arson long before us. "You light, I pour." We worked fast. Gasoline arced in silver streams, soaking wood older than our grandparents. The whispers were louder now, seeping through the floorboards like smoke. The door rattled in its frame. Luke struck the flare. Orange light bloomed. "On 3, make it 1. He tossed it. Flame whooshed up, hungry and bright. For a second, the lobby was noon in hell. Then the fire found the gas trail and raced for the basement. We didn't wait for the encore. Out the front door, across the street, diving behind my Mustang as the bank exhaled one last time, a sound like every sigh humanity ever wasted. The explosion was small but surgical. The floor collapsed, taking the vault, the darkness, and whatever was left of Victor Sloan with it. Dust settled. The fire burned clean, eating the old wood like it had a grudge. Luke and I sat in the dirt, coughing, watching Mercy Ridge's last landmark die. After a while, he said, "Debt paid off?" I thought about the thing in the vault, the way it had looked at me. "Interest is still accruing." He laughed, the sound ragged but real. "Figures."